Greetings, everybody. Dave DeWalt here, coming to you live from the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center. I'm the CEO and founder of NightDragon. I can't tell you how excited I am to be coming live from San Francisco at the RSA Cybersecurity Conference, the biggest cybersecurity conference in the world. Today, we've been having a lot of fun with the NASDAQ and NightDragon CEO series. We've had 10 of the hottest companies in the world of cyber, but we've saved the fastest growing, probably the biggest for last, and that is Wiz. A lot of you have probably heard about Wiz. This is an incredible company. Just in 3 years' time, has reached a $10 billion valuation, raised $300 million, and I think has beat my record from Fireside days on the fastest growing. You still have a little ways to go towards $1 billion in revenue, but pretty amazing company. Yinon Costica, thank you so much. Co-founder of Wiz, joining me today. Oh my gosh, you must be super excited. 3 years, does it feel like a roller coaster, like a giant one?
Giant roller coasters, yes, indeed. Being an RSA again, so it's fantastic, and thank you for having me.
Congratulations. I know you're a bit of a serial entrepreneur as well, and I had Armis's founder CEO here earlier, and you came from Adalom as well, that you sold to Microsoft. Congratulations on that. What was it like being in Microsoft? Tell me that first.
You know, so we started Adalom. Adalom was a great SaaS security company, a CASB back then. You knew it from the day, and getting to Microsoft, suddenly you see the scale of the platform, right? Being attached to Office 365, Azure, like all of these big dogs, right? And then running along, you really learn a lot about not taking shortcuts, doing engineering properly, meeting organizations from all sizes, all shapes, all verticals, right? So you get to see regulated ones, less regulated ones, very open ones, and you get to see the entire spectrum also globally. I think this matures a lot, the ability to really understand how to build a product that can scale fast and also cater for wider audiences, right? Versus like, you know, taking them one by one. So I think these are the things. It's an amazing company for actually going through this scale up.
Did you get Microsoft stock as a result of all the things you learned? No, I'm joking.
Microsoft is an amazing company.
I know, I agree. I'm a huge fan of Microsoft as well. Okay, tell everybody what Wiz does. So we have a lot of investors on the call, so give all that to everybody for a minute.
So as you know, most organizations today are going towards the cloud. Cloud is a new way of basically building innovation. What Wiz does is really helping organizations to, one, have visibility into what's going on in their cloud, then prioritize very effectively and accurately what are the risks that they should address, and then democratize the process of fixing it and remediating and reducing the risk, not only within the security team, but actually to the wider organization. So every team that builds to the cloud now can basically understand what are the risks and fix it in a way that is ingrained into their processes. So really democratizing security.
Say a few words about the why of that, right? I think everybody understands cloud visibility, monitoring, detection, understanding it, response. It's part of cyber's world, but are we seeing threats and risks there? Can you say a few things about what you're seeing and why it's so important now?
Definitely. I think what we're seeing is that the stack became ultra complex in the sense that it is ultra heterogeneous and ultra agile, right? So you've got new technologies coming into play. You know, in the past, it would have taken like a year to approve a new technology. Now it takes like a minute, like any organization, any development org can use a new technology and ship it. How can security account for all of the new risks that are now being introduced by all of these new technologies? How can they know how to secure it? So basically, I think this is like one of the main challenges, multi-cloud, multi-architectures, multiple technologies. How can we still figure out what are the proper way to put guardrails in order to secure our cloud development process? That's one. The second thing is that actually, you know, in the cloud, things are happening very fast, including threats. So the goal is really not to wait for a threat and detect it when it happens, because then the ability of the teams to respond timely enough is really, you know, 50-50, even less. But you really want to be able to build secure by design systems that will block the threat actors at the door. And that's a challenge. And we have the knowledge today to understand, you know, these are the threats. This is actually what they're leveraging to get into these environments. But now, thanks to the agility of the cloud, we can actually put guardrails that help us build it securely so they won't get into the door in the first place. So I think these are the two challenges, like the agility and the heterogeneous technology, and how do we solve for it?
I'm on many boards, and I do a lot of board advisor, and there's hardly a company in the world who isn't thinking about moving, lifting, and shifting to the cloud at where do you think we're at in that maturation from your vantage point? You're right now as an industry.
Yeah, I think that COVID had a big role, right? Most organizations, I actually can see the split, like pre-COVID, new things, innovation goes into the cloud. But after COVID, I think many teams have realized that, now it's time to basically take the leap forward. And we're seeing like massive adoption of the cloud.
Accelerating.
Like really like moving all of the applications, everything they can move into the cloud. Now, of course, it brings a lot more maturity, a lot more pragmatism to the way of actually shipping in the cloud, and I think it matures the entire industry. And this brings like the big organization, like the Fortune 100 and those to adopt the cloud, but for real, not as we're doing like innovation there. Right. And we've seen it across the board. There are many that are cloud native, like a new company that is born today, they're going to be cloud, right? 100%.
Right.
But also, I'm seeing like all of the rest of the companies are now adopting it to its full extent, and it's only a matter of time, right? Until that's the way they do business, period, right?
Yinon, I thought for a long time, for a guy who's been in cyber for 20 years and built multiple companies, I thought someone's going to come along with like born in the cloud, cloud first, build a security platform across all these, different heterogeneous systems, and they were going to build a cloud suite, almost like I tried at McAfee to build an endpoint suite, and I did, made it worth billions, and someone's going to come along and do that. Talk a little bit about the vision of Wiz now. You're 3 years into this. You've gone through 100 million already of revenue. You've raised a lot of capital. I mean, where do you see this going?
Actually, I think that you nailed it, right? I think the consolidation is key because security is being fragmented, especially with cloud. There are many different point solutions, very siloed, but they're good at scanning for one thing, but they don't really help organizations to make sense of the bigger picture. And the question is, in the end, what do I need to do now, right? How do I prioritize my work right now to be the most efficient? And I think that when you're siloed, you're not able to get that value. And this is why this consolidation of the tools, this platform, right? I think it happens in cloud. Some calls it a CNAPP, Cloud Native Application Protection Platform. I know it's a 5-letter acronym, but it is what it is.
It had to be limited.
Yeah,
to 4,
I thought so as well. But the industry is growing. So, so basically, I think that this CNAPP concept that encompasses what would have been otherwise like 10 different siloed solutions like CSPM, DSPM, CIEM, CWPP, CI/CD scanning, container security, all of these are now coming into one platform. And guess what? It's not only that I have a suite that does it. It's actually one platform, one data layer. And guess what? When it's actually centered around one data layer, then I can reason over the data together. So I can make sense of it in a way that is more accurate, more immediate, more automated than ever before. Right? So I think that's one thing that we're seeing, this ability to consolidate and really prioritize accurately. That's one, and it's going to continue. We're going to see everything being consolidated into that platform, this data layer. The second thing that we'll see is a lot more pragmatism. And that's something super important. Security has matured. Now you've got everyone going into the cloud, and they're not into the fun of the research in cloud security. They want to do business. They want to do optimize their investment in security and make sure they do the right thing. So security has to move to a place where we can prioritize risk effectively. We can actually be pragmatic about what we actually want to solve versus here are 1 million vulnerabilities you need to fix, good luck, right? So we want to be that, here are the top 10. Yep. That's where you need to start. And that's the second thing. And the third thing is really democratization, because I think in the end, the central security team can only get to that, ability to support the organization. The more we grow, the faster we grow. You want basically the security team to enable the teams to be secured. And that's what I call democratization. Security has to be ingrained into the processes of every single employee, development teams, business unit, so they can do it right in the first place, right?
And talk a little bit about the go-to-market strategy of Wiz. And the reason I say this, you've become the fastest growing company in software history at this point. I think so. I think you outgrew Google and Amazon. I know you outgrew Fireside now. But one of my secrets to growing Fireside from 10 million to $1 billion in 4 years was I really worked hard on the go-to-market side of things as well. Can you talk about what Wiz is doing there? Because obviously a lot of good things are happening.
Yeah, it's a great question, and let's chat afterwards, give me some tips. But basically, the first thing is really to nail the product in the sense that the product is simple. It allows for very rapid adoption. It's very easy to set up, very easy to use, and that actually accounts for, in the end, we can go to an SMB, Fortune 100 company, and the product will work for them. So that's one thing that is super important. Once you have that product, ability to operate in every organization, then the question is how do we go to market with it? And I think that we are today, like this year, really focusing on the channel, ability to partner to channel. So basically every organization can have a partner working with them, not only on the implementation, which is a fast part of deploying Wiz, but actually to work with them across, how do we roll it out to all of the teams? How do we train our teams? How do we make this shift in the organization? So really going into that partner-first approach. And then we continue to go down market in the sense that we truly believe that any organization, we started from the big ones. So more than a third of the Fortune 100 companies are using Wiz today. And we are now going into the down market in the sense that we believe that any organization, whether you are an SMB or any region, you can start using Wiz today to secure your cloud operation.
Which might be a lot of born first in the cloud anyway.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So that's like the second aspect of the third aspect, like the product, the partner approach, and then third, like going into every different market, because we are all using the same cloud security stack.
Yinon, it's fun to watch Wiz come along. My gosh, what an incredible journey. And to watch another amazing Israeli company and founders build an incredible platform. I've been going to Israel for 25 plus years. I've been involved with many investments in Israel. It's an honor to watch Israeli innovators in this world. And you might be the fastest Israeli innovator ever. So congratulations, everybody. Yinon Costica, Wiz, watch out for this company. This is an incredible force coming. Thank you for being on the show. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.